Hello, I am Catherine Miller, and this presentation is about updating the standard functional specifications for law enforcement records management systems. The previous two versions of the document were developed to provide a starting point for law enforcement agencies to use when developing RMS requests for proposals, streamline the process to help lower the cost of implementing and maintaining an RMS, and to promote information sharing and best practices. These documents are still important to law enforcement and the software providers that deliver RMS solutions, as it drives so much of the procurement in the industry. However, the documents have shown their age and have been in need of updating to include the latest technological advancements. So, as a joint effort to address this issue, the IACP's Criminal Justice Information Systems Committee and the IJIS Institute's Law Enforcement Advisory Committee formed an RMS Standards Task Force.
The RMS Task Force leadership includes Task Force Chair Catherine Miller, who works for the Montgomery County Police Department in Maryland, myself, Todd Thompson, as co-chair and team lead. I'm with Caliber Public Safety. The other team leads include Crystal Cody from the City of Charlotte, North Carolina, Jason Bussert with Oklahoma City Police Department, Melissa Weinsberg from the IJIS Institute and formerly with Optimum Technology, and Brian Parker from New Hampshire State Police.
As we had no funding available to do this project, the first part of 2019 was to recruit practitioners and industry partners to agree to volunteer their time on this project. Over 25 practitioners and industry partners formed this task force. The membership on this task force spans across the United States and also includes several international members. And while much of this updated copy is focused on the United States, we did try to include international references where we could. And during this presentation, you will see the names of individuals who worked on this updated version. We thank them for their contribution and dedication to getting this updated version completed. And now, after many months of meetings, reviews, and edits, we are proud to introduce the 2021 version 3 of this document. We also want to thank the IJIS Institute and the IACP for the opportunity to revive a document rich with valuable information and industry insights. With a renewed purpose, the document will serve to guide agencies with acquiring an RMS best suited to meet their needs, comply with standards, and share information.
Formatted with a new look and feel, the document is easy to read and draws attention to important topics. Care was taken to make sure the document is a valuable resource for each of the more than 18,000 public safety agencies in the United States. The document was reorganized into core business functions that are common to most public safety agencies and optional business functions designed for specific disciplines. One size does not fit all. Agencies can use the document to mix and match what works best for them to meet present and future business needs. For this short presentation, each of the team leads will highlight a couple of important aspects of this updated version that their teams worked on. We will also review additional ways to make use of the updated documents.
Hello, I'm Melissa Weinsberg. The team I led covered general requirements for an RMS. When I speak of general requirements, the focus here was on architectures, standards, and functionalities that should exist across multiple modules. For example, it is important to ensure that wherever possible, information is entered into the RMS one time. The other topics our team covered included incident reports, juvenile information, and optional modules of civil process and protection orders. The teams identified certain modules as core regardless of the agency type or size. There were other optional modules, such as civil process and protection orders, which would primarily be handled by a county sheriff's office. It is critical to delineate these types of modules so that agencies that require them give consideration when exploring new procurement opportunities. One area our team focused heavily on was the incident reporting chapter and some of the key takeaways were the need to streamline data entry. An officer should not have to enter the same information twice. Information should flow seamlessly across a report. Automated workflows simplify the reporting approval process. An officer should not be concerned with who is approving a report. When complete, the report should automatically flow to the next level when the report meets quality standards that occur through data checks, such as the NIBRS or agency-imposed validation requirements. It is also important for agencies to have the ability to write supplements at the same time. In larger incidents, a system that allows for the collection of a single supplement at a time will be difficult and time consuming for officers to navigate. Given the times we are living in, it is imperative to be more transparent about the incidents and data collected by law enforcement.
I had a great team to work with on this project, and we brought several items up to date in asset management, fleet management, and personnel management systems in the document. These are typically outside the normal RMS systems. Our main focus, though, was on CAD, property evidence, and internal affairs. While this is not a CAD document, we attempted to identify information that would make systems more efficient and effective. One requirement is that data needs to pass from CAD to RMS, and just as important, information from the RMS that needs to be available in the CAD. Most RMS systems will have information about where gang members, mental health consumers, and wanted suspects live. This information needs to be passed on to the responding officers through CAD. Recent arrests or recent calls at an address need to alert the responding officer without having them to do a search. They need to know about recent issues at this address before they arrive. This type of information allows the officers to properly respond to the call with the right resources. With NextGen 911, pictures, text, video may be included in the call. It could be a vital piece of evidence that needs to be treated as such and made available for the RMS to be part of the case. Another area we focused heavily on was property and evidence. This information is usually recorded in the field and needs to flow from the RMS to the property and evidence program without having to re-enter it. Digital evidence is the biggest addition to our section. How we handle and store digital evidence needs to be like how it's done in a property room, keeping audit trails, limiting access, and storing hash values to verify the authenticity of the evidence. These are key to making sure the evidence is preserved and properly stands up in court. As the evidence is collected, it must be attached to a case or incident in the RMS so it does not get lost. The evidence comes from so many different sources: body-worn cameras, interviews, public uploads, crime scene investigators, and so much more that the evidence can get overwhelming if the evidence isn't properly handled. The amount of digital evidence that is collected on a case will only increase in the future. Being able to track and locate the digital evidence accurately on a case is crucial for release to the prosecutor's office and for court. And depending on the state laws, the ability to purge the data efficiently when is required is a must to be able to manage the data effectively.
My team covered a number of topics, but our biggest focus was on investigative case management, arrest, pawn, and NIBRS. For investigative case management, we focused on items related to capturing intelligent case routing, capturing better case status information to allow detectives and officers more effective ways to prioritize caseload, victim contact tracking for improved victim engagement, and more modern integrations with external systems. The arrest section was reasonably complete, but for data exchange updates, the ability to pull arrest histories for subjects, and noting the need for support of citations in lieu of arrest. For pawn, we added the inclusion of popular online secondhand retailers such as Craigslist, eBay, EcoATM, and other opportunities for integration with RMS when using standalone pawn systems. Any modern RMS standard must include specifications related to the National Incident-Based Reporting System, as the FBI has now sunsetted the Uniform Crime Reporting System as of January 2021. The team added a new section in this version of the RMS functional specifications to address the need for today's RMS system to capture NIBRS quality data, enforce the rules on the way in, and validate reports based on cross-segment validations before reports can be submitted for approval.
Team 3 was afforded the opportunity to work with some very intelligent and thoughtful members, each with a different and diverse background. We were tasked with focusing on the chapters of warrants, booking, crash, citations, mobile, and system administration. In reviewing these chapters, our main goal was to see what's out of date, but we also tried to see what could be improved, even if it was just a minor change. As we went through the sections to ensure everything was still relevant, we made some of these minor improvements by making the material more easily understood. The meat and potatoes stayed pretty consistent for us, but we were able to improve on some areas by spelling out some of the acronyms, such as M&I to Master Name Index, to really make it easier for everyone to understand and use. Another key item we focused on was the inclusion of the CSP, the CJIS Security Policy, when either the state CSA, CJIS System Agency, or the FBI performs their ITS audit, that's the Information Technology Security Audit. It's important to know that your RMS will comply with all the mandatory requirements.
My team reviewed and updated the executive summary, analytical support, reporting, interfaces, hosting, and auditing sections of the document. Our purpose was to refresh the relevancy and build upon the purpose of these sections by incorporating new technologies and changing RMS business practices since the last publication in 2009. The standard document emphasizes the importance on data-driven policing. Data-driven policing is the process of making organizational decisions based on real-time data rather than intuition or observation alone. Consideration should be given to areas such as preemptive data analysis, standardized and ad hoc reporting, time period considerations, crime mapping and link analysis, and support for external analytical tools. The impact of COVID on budgets and unforeseen outcomes of police reform necessitate the need for many agencies to do more with the same or less resources. Solutions to improve data accessibility, data cleanliness, data centralization, and data clarity are critical to providing agencies with the right information in the right format to make informed decisions and drive organizational efficiencies. My team's biggest addition was cloud hosting. Regardless of agency size or budget, cloud solutions empower agencies with an affordable, secure option to do more while at the same time improving data accessibility and data sharing. Agencies should consider the many benefits of a cloud hosting when deciding to acquire a records management system. Cloud solutions leverage modern technologies and security innovations. Cloud solutions free up agency IT resources, saving valuable dollars and allowing focus on other departmental priorities. Cloud solutions are evergreen, offering automatic updates. That sums it up for our highlights on our RMS task force. We are now going to review other ways to utilize this document.
We would love for you to consider using it to bring new team members in your agency IT group or in your centralized IT team up to speed to provide familiarity with standard law enforcement systems and workflows. It can be used to educate command staff who may have responsibility for IT systems or who may be participating in an implementation project. The document also doesn't have to be used in its entirety. Use specific sections if you're looking for a standalone system. Finally, make sure you explore the extensive resource guide in the appendix. The team included many references and links to useful information that will help persons who may be new to the criminal justice technology environment familiarize themselves with the abundant resources, policies, terms, and reference material required to properly manage and maintain RMS systems and associated modules.
Building on what Crystal covered, here are some perspectives as a public safety service provider. The RMS Standards document is a valuable resource for both the practitioner and service provider communities. The document serves to provide a common understanding and business language between service providers and practitioners. It serves as a consistent set of functional requirements for service providers to develop and enhance systems. It serves as a baseline for service providers to think about compatibility with other systems used by public safety to streamline data flows, increase efficiencies, and improve data sharing. Lastly, it serves as a measure for service providers to evaluate compliance against a standard set of industry requirements.
So this brings us to the dissemination of this version 3 of the RMS Standards document. We are in the process of getting this new version out to many organizations and associations. Just download the document from this presentation if available, or go to the IJIS website. Or you can type in this URL to go directly to the document itself. But there's one more thing. We're keeping the task force together and have decided to meet about every 6 months to discuss and determine if any sections need updating. So if you have any suggestions for changes or additions to this document, or you would like to help out, please contact me or Todd. So that's it for today. Thank you for spending time with us. And I want to especially thank this incredible team of leaders on this task force: Todd, Melissa, Crystal, Jason, and Brian. This updated version of this RMS Standards Functional Specification document and presentation would not have been complete without your knowledge, expertise, and your leadership. And I would also like to thank the IJIS Institute again for helping us to get this document finalized, edited, and published.